Okay, so we are here in San Francisco with my best friend in America, Paul,
Dr. Paul Dubin.
Dubin. Okay, in his psychologist's office, and then I'm going to ask him just a few questions about himself and about life in San Francisco and about your practice. Okay, so tell me something about your practice. How did you get into psychology? What made you get into psychology?
Well, I've been practicing now already 20 years, but before that I was a high school teacher, and I wanted to have a more direct personal impact on my students, something that was not really possible when you're a school teacher in front of 35 students and the syllabus to cover. So I went back to graduate school, originally in school psychology, but then I found doing this kind of work, talking to people, helping them understand what they really want, understand what really matters in their life, and I feel very grateful to do this work.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. Mm-hmm. But what made you, why psychology?
Why psychology?
Did you think about that when you were a kid? For example, when people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up?
No, of course, when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be either an astronaut or a baseball player, but that did not work out too well. No, I think it was something that I think it's something I've always been interested in, questions of the mind and why we feel and think the way we do. And I think that curiosity has led me to want to work with other people, other minds, besides my own.
Nice. And what about yourself? Were you born in San Francisco? Where were you born?
No, in fact, people here in California many times will notice that my accent is that I am from the state of New Jersey, very close to New York City, only from a town only 30 kilometers from New York City. And even though I have been in California for more than 40 years, people will still ask me today, "Oh, are you from New York?" I say, "Well, not New York, New Jersey, yes." Because I still have my accent. I cannot lose it.
Okay. But how did you end up in San Francisco?
Oh, I came to university in Berkeley.
Oh, okay. Came to university here in Berkeley.
Because at the time, this was in the 1970s, California was a very exotic place to live.
Yeah,
it was considered paradise. Now, after living here 40 years, it's very nice, but paradise is only in heaven.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about going back to New Jersey or New York or something?
No, it's nicer here. I prefer it here.
Do you feel it's home?
This is my home here.
Okay,
absolutely.
Great. Mm-hmm. Great. And for people coming to the United States, what people can enjoy about the city, about San Francisco?
Oh, there is so much to enjoy here. There's so much to see. I think arguably San Francisco is certainly among the most beautiful cities in the United States. There's so many things I can't even really begin to list them. I would recommend anyone to look at any guidebook for a much more complete list. Having said that, though, we're now talking and it's July. And for tourists who are coming to California from other parts of America, from other parts of the world, they should know, as I know you are learning, that it can get cold in San Francisco. If the fog comes in, and in the evening time especially, it can be very cold and windy, and people need to realize that and to bring appropriate clothing along with them.
Okay, great. Okay, just one more thing about the patients you have here.
Okay.
What kind of patients? Because I have seen on your profile the kind of approach you have with them. Okay, and the point of view. Tell me something about your practice.
Well, I think. First of all, San Francisco, as many people may know, has a very large population of homosexuals, of gay people. So, correspondingly, many people in my practice are gay. Also, this city attracts a lot of very ambitious entrepreneurs, people pursuing jobs in technology, hoping to come to the Bay Area, get a job with Google or Facebook or Tesla or Genentech or Twitter or any of the other so many big internet companies that are based in San Francisco. And as a result, this city has a lot of young people. And as a consequence, probably most of my clients that I see are in their 20s and 30s. Some people are middle-aged and older even. But this does tend to be a city for young people. I think another reason why I tend to see more gays and young people is that it reflects the population of the city. San Francisco has become an extremely expensive place to live. The price of housing is very, very, very high. And as a result, many young people, once they start having children, they move out of the city because it's too expensive to find sufficiently large apartment or a house for them to live in. And as a result, the population of the city tends to be, well, there was a problem in San Francisco. Well, it tends to be that either young people or very wealthy people. Okay. And sociologically, this represents a big problem, a very serious problem for the city of San Francisco, because it means, and it has meant, that people of minorities, people in lower economic classes, many people in the middle classes simply can no longer afford to live in San Francisco.
Oh, okay, I see.
So there are many news reports of many people leaving San Francisco to go live in other cities where they can afford to buy a house.
Cost of living is better. Okay. But still, do you recommend people? Would you recommend people
as a place to visit? Absolutely.
Just
now you've been hearing me talk about some of the problems of living here, of making one's life here, but as a place to live, it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
A beautiful place. As
just
long
bring
as you
a
bring a jacket, bring a sweater, and I think a jacket and a ski hat or something. Okay.
Best months are September, October.
Yes, I heard about that.
May and June. Those April, May, June. Those are the best months to visit.
Yeah, so keep that in mind next time. Okay. So thank you very much, Paul.
Thank
you. Appreciate it.
You're
thank you very much.
welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Great.